Good evening, and thank you for attending Building Your Toolbox, a monthly educational series where individuals learn a pain management strategy or skill. Tonight, we are very happy to be joined by guest presenter Mari Hodges, who will talk about the Alexander Technique. My name is Michelle Rice, and I am the patient engagement lead for the U.S. Pain Foundation, and I've lived with chronic pain for over 24 years. So I'm really excited to introduce our guest presenter this evening, Mari Hodges. Chronic neck and back pain led Mari Hodges to the Alexander Technique, sparking her interest in pain science. As an Alexander Technique practitioner and pain management specialist, Mari serves as an educator, guide, coach, and fellow explorer with clients, many of whom live with persistent pain. Her aim is not to fix anyone's pain, but rather to assist individuals in embarking on a journey toward better health, well-being, and personal transformation by fostering learning, curiosity, and self-awareness. Through the application of these principles in her own practice, Mari helps clients discover self-acceptance, a sense of inner safety, enjoyment in moving in new ways, and increased confidence in making conscious choices with or without pain. Mari obtained her Alexander Technique teaching certificate from the Escuela de Tenencia Alexander Buenos Aires. She also holds a therapeutic pain specialist certificate from Purdue University and a Master of Science in Medicine in Pain Management from the University of Sydney. Additionally, she is certified as an Art of Running instructor. Mari runs a private practice as an Alexander Technique teacher and pain coach and leads the volunteer Pain Savvy Walk and Talk community program in Missoula, Montana. She also conducts courses for practitioners and individuals living with pain. In her leisure time, Mari enjoys delving into pain science, cross-country skiing, and dancing tango. For more information, you can visit discoverease.how, H-O-W. Mari, we are so happy to have you here, and I will let you take over from here.
Right. Thank you for that very nice introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm very grateful to be here. Thanks for having me. And I would just like to add, I always like to start out that you're welcome to be however you would like to be during this presentation, whether that's sitting, lying down, getting up and moving around, whatever is right for you in the moment. And I'll just add a little bit about my experience getting involved in Alexander Technique. I experienced chronic back and neck pain for over a decade, and the Alexander Technique was recommended to me, and I was at a point where I knew I needed to change something in my life, but I didn't know what. And I had heard about it. I was a little bit curious, so I gave it a try, and that started a new chapter in my life. My belief is that through Alexander Technique and learning about pain, for me, changed my experience. Those two things were very helpful for me. And my own pain experience just really inspired my curiosity to learn more about pain and led to a fascination with the subject and wanting to learn more. And I do consider myself to be recovered from chronic pain, and recovery is different for everyone. I had a pain episode just last week, so it doesn't mean that pain never happens ever again, but it does mean that I feel a little bit better about knowing how to deal with it and getting through it and coming out on the other side. So I hope that I can share some skills that I use that may be helpful for you. One thing that I learned as I began to learn the Alexander Technique was to stop doing things that I didn't need. And that can be understood in lots of different ways. Physically, emotionally, mentally, involvement in things that I was involved in, things that I did not need, that were not serving me well, I learned to let go of. And in Alexander technique, we call this non-doing. I also learned to allow myself to be in a different way. I learned to recognize how I was being as I was doing the things that I was doing, to have a little bit more choice in how I would like to be. And for me, that is what the Alexander technique is about, having some more choice in how we are being as we do the things that we choose to do. And Alexander technique is not for pain, but I find it very beneficial for pain. Pain is a unique experience for everyone, but we do have some things in common, all of us. For all of us, pain is of our whole self, of our mind and body self. It's not just of a physical body part. Pain is created by the nervous system for all of us. And how we react to pain absolutely influences our experience. And I find that both learning about pain and practicing Alexander technique helps me to have more choice in how I respond to my pain. And I have a few slides I'll just put up here to show you, and then we'll have a little bit of an experience of what is Alexander technique. Here we go. Okay, so what is Alexander technique? Alexander technique is a mind-body practice where we're looking at the use of our whole self, how we treat our whole self as a whole. It's sometimes called embodied mindfulness, meaning similar to a mindfulness practice, if anyone has practiced mindfulness or had an experience with that, but including our whole body, inside and out, front and back, top to bottom, the whole thing. There are various studies that show effectiveness of Alexander technique for some certain types of pain, such as back pain, osteoarthritis, knee pain, neck pain. And I'm not going to go into these. I think it's going to be more interesting for us to have an experience, but it's just interesting to see that there are some studies that are being done. And in science, studies have to be done on particular things. So these studies have been done on specific pain conditions. But I find the Alexander technique helps with pain in general because it's about how we respond. And so I'm going to propose a little experiment for us to do. And I first want to tell you about how I was being as I came to the meeting today. And I was at work and at another place not far from here where I can walk, and I was running late. So I started to hurry. Thought I'm running late. I can't be late for this. Gotta hurry. And so I'm starting to tighten up. I'm starting to feel a bit nervous. My neck is getting tight. My arms are tight. My ankles are tight. And I thought, wow, what am I doing? Here I'm going to practice and share Alexander technique, and I'm tightening myself up. So that realization helped me to pause for a moment. I kept walking, but inside it helped me to pause and say, okay, I'd really like to be in a different way as I go, because when I get there, I'm going to be in a different way based on how I get there. So I continued walking swiftly, but I let my neck release. I let my arms swing. I let my feet roll on the ground, and my walk changed. I felt more comfortable, and I felt a little bit more relaxed and better about getting here. So the experiment that I'm going to propose is something similar to that. And you're welcome to join in the experiment. You're welcome to just watch, whatever you choose. You can join in the experiment physically or just in your mind's eye, whatever feels right to you. So the experiment is like this. I'm going to propose a situation. The situation is this. We're running a little bit late. You need to get somewhere. So you're going to start going around your house, gathering up your things, your keys, your bag, whatever it is that you need to take with you. You have a really important appointment you need to get to. You don't want to be late. And then you remember you need to send an email before you go. Okay, so here we go. Anybody wants to do it, you can get up and physically do it. If not, you can watch me. So I'm gonna be in a hurry and I'm gonna run over there and get my stuff and I'm gonna come back here and get my email going. So here I go. My computer won't start and I'm waiting. And then that circle thing goes and the circle thing is going and going. And so I'm waiting for my computer to get started so I can write my email so I can get going. And what's happening? What's happening? As I'm doing this. Okay, I'm waiting for my computer, but what am I doing? I'm hurrying. I'm hurrying in place. I can't go anywhere because I'm waiting for the computer. But even though I'm not going anywhere, I'm hurrying in my body. Can everyone see that, how I was doing that? Did anyone feel that same kind of thing in their body? And you don't have to do it if it's a trigger for you. You can just watch me. Okay, so let's stop. The situation is over. We're going to create a new situation. And the situation is this. We have an appointment and we don't have much time. And we want to write an email before we go. So just in your mind's eye, or physically if you'd like to, you take a little walk across your room, pick up your things, come back, and we'll sit down at our computer and we'll turn it on and the circle thing starts. So it's going to be a while. So let's take advantage of this moment to not hurry in place, but to stop, to truly stop, and to give ourselves time. So as we're stopping, I'm going to propose a few things. Let's notice the seat or whatever is underneath us. Notice the surface underneath you. If you're sitting, maybe you notice a surface under your bottom. If you're reclining or lying down, noticing the surface underneath you and the contact of your body with that surface. If your feet are resting on the floor, notice the floor, the ground under your feet. We're all resting on the ground, even if we're on a bed or a chair, even if we're on a fourth floor. It's all on the ground. So let's trust in the ground to hold us up. Trust in that support underneath you to allow yourself to do less right now. There's no need for us to hold ourselves up. So letting your weight release down onto the surface of wherever you're sitting or lying down or standing. Allowing the ground to receive your weight. Notice what changes in you as you stop and let your weight release down and allow the ground to support you so that you can do less. Notice where you are doing less in your body and maybe in your thoughts, in your mind. Is it a little bit quieter? It's taking some time. Let's also rest our hands. Does anyone find themselves when they're waiting for the computer to do something, to be hovering there, waiting, or as we're thinking about what to type, maybe hovering over the keyboard? So let's rest our hands on our legs or on the table or on the chair. somewhere where your arms can receive support and you can do less right now. Allowing hands to rest and do nothing for this moment. We could even say to ourselves, in this moment, while the computer is doing its thing, I'm free to do nothing. I'm free to stop. I'm free to stop holding myself up. I'm free to let my hands rest. See what you notice. What changes in your whole body? What changes in your whole self as you allow your feet to rest on the ground, allowing your body to rest on the ground, allowing your hands to rest. Even if we're not directly on the ground, we're resting on the ground. Let's notice also what we're doing in our eyes. Does anyone ever notice when you are waiting in a hurry that your eyes might start to get a little bit tense? Maybe we're glaring at the computer or glaring as we're waiting in line at the grocery store or wherever it is that we're waiting. Let's let our eyes be soft. If you'd like, you can touch around your eyes to give yourself a sense of where they are, what they're doing, just encouraging them to soften. What are soft eyes? I like to contrast hard eyes and soft eyes. Hard eyes are when we're worried or tense and we're tensing in our eyes, or we're glaring with our eyes, or we're concentrating. Sometimes when we concentrate, we tense our eyes too. What would soft eyes be? Imagine for a moment a baby or a puppy or a kitten, a baby animal, maybe a baby in your life that you know and love. When you think about the baby, what happens in your face and in your eyes? Maybe they soften naturally. So we could call that soft eyes. So as you gaze at your computer screen, just for a moment, pretending that it's a baby. Maybe even that silly thought can bring a smile to your face. And notice what changes in you, what changes in your body, what changes in your breath as your eyes soften. So as we stop for a moment, free to do nothing in this moment, letting our feet rest on the ground, letting our body rest on the ground, letting hands rest down, letting eyes be soft. What changes? What changes in you? And what do you see? What do you see that maybe you didn't see before? Maybe we see something in ourselves that we couldn't see before. Maybe we see something around ourselves, maybe out the window, as we allow our eyes to free up from the screen, free to move. Let's experiment with letting our eyes be free to move. So you're free to not look at the screen. I won't be offended. Let your eyes be free to roam around, free to move. It's actually less work. It's harder work to hold our eyes still. Letting your eyes ease up and be free to move, free to blink. Notice what changes in you as you allow your eyes to be free. Does anything change in your breath? Does anything change in the muscle tension in your body? What about feet? I notice that my feet are feeling a little more relaxed now. As you allow your eyes to be free to move, allow your nose to follow where your eyes go. Allowing your face to go where your eyes go. Let your curiosity lead your eyes to see something in your space. So your eyes move inspired by curiosity, and your face follows. And your head gently moves. What's it like to move your head like that? Is it the same as always, or is it different in any way? Just noticing. We can ask ourselves, is it easier or less easy? Don't need to be too specific. We can just divide it into those two categories. Is it easier? Do I feel easier in my body or less easy? As we allow ourselves to move. Just noticing what comes up. Let's ask ourselves some questions now. Let's ask ourselves, where do I notice some tension in my body? Where do I notice some tension or discomfort? That might be pretty easy to find. Our brains are really good at searching out those places, finding those places. So let's ask ourselves now, where do I notice a place of less tension, less discomfort, relatively? And it's okay if the answer is I don't know. It's okay to say I don't know. And let's ask ourselves now, where do I notice a place in myself that feels relatively easy? Relatively at ease. Just wondering and just noticing what comes up. Where do I feel relatively at ease? Doesn't have to be absolute ease. Even if it's just a little bit. Just noticing. And as you ask yourself about ease, notice what changes in you. It might be very easy for us to notice tension and discomfort, but let's change the question around. Where do I notice some ease? And then notice what happens. What is your breath like? What is it like for your head to move as it follows your eyes, which follow your curiosity? So we'll pause there.